this is how it happened. A friend of mine named Martin Ford, who was on the show about 3-4 years ago, he's a hulk of a man, almost 400 pounds. He's a Hollywood actor. He's been in Fast and Furious, bodybuilder. He is headlining the card, and he's fighting the Iranian Hulk. They're both about 150 kgs. And it's a whole celebrity boxing night. They got a bunch of stars from Love Island. Patrice Evra, huge footballer, is going to be there. Big celebrities in the audience. And Martin called me up like the week of the David Icke live broadcast and said, Brian, you should fight. And I was like, Martin, what are you talking about, man? I'm 50 years old. And he said, Brian, he's like, I know you. And he said, I think you should do this. So at first I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm not gonna do this. But I trained martial arts for many years. I never really had a fight. And then I was like, you know what, Martin? I've learned one thing at London Real. You gotta go into your fears. That's where all the growth is. That's where all the fun is. So, told my wife, she wasn't too impressed. And told my team, not too impressed. Told my trainer, who said, bad idea. And then I said, look, let's just do this. So it's on. I'll be making the walk and I'll be fighting. I'm excited, I'm terrified, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, I'm also pumped, and I've been training really hard. So that's what's happening. I've called out Sadiq Khan, the current mayor of London, because we went head to head for almost a full year when I ran for mayor. And honestly, he needs to be held accountable for this mess that he's turned this city into. So I asked him to show up. I think he's gonna duck me, is what's gonna happen, but we're waiting for him to reply. He's 50 as well. And during the election time, he goes to the local boxing gym, he hits some pads. They all do, right? So I'm like, okay, you've pretended like you're a boxer. Why don't you just show up? And I said, actually, I might actually respect you if you make the walk. And I think people in London would too. So I'm waiting for him to actually show up in the ring. If he doesn't, then they're finding me an opponent. And we're gonna do it, man. We're gonna swing. So it's a little crazy, I probably should have done this when I was 40 or when I was 30, but I'm gonna do it now when I'm 50. One final aside, I heard today that there's a YouTuber that might want some of this as well.
Oh, wow.
And so there's a YouTuber named Nico who ran against me for the mayor of London, 23 years old. And when I went to City Hall on May 8th for the vote count to be read, they put us all in one room. And Nico walked up to me with a bottle of piss in his hand, and he handed it to me and said, here, this is for you, Brian. Because there was an old video of me drinking my own urine.
Yeah.
And so Nico came up to me, and there at City Hall, I said, okay, thanks, Nico. I said, I appreciate that. I said, guess what? You and I should fight. And he was like, uh-oh, what do you mean, Brian? Because he had his camera crew there. And I was like, I don't know, for some reason I said, why don't you and I fight? I said, you're half my age, why don't we fight? And he got all quiet and kind of ran away. And somebody tweeted it that night, some journalist said, I heard that Brian Rose just challenged Nico to a boxing match. And that was like a year ago. So now I hear that, his crew has been, talking about this. So I'm calling out Nico to see if he actually wants to step up. Again, he's half my age. So we'll see. There's great charities involved. The Frank Bruno Foundation for Mental Health is being supported by this. Frank Bruno, the boxer, has been on my show. And I've had a ton of boxers that are helping me out behind the scenes. So that's what's happening. I think everyone is confused by this, including my family, but I'm gonna do it. So yeah, what do you think? You've been in some fights
Confused, but London Real, it doesn't get more real than this, Brian. I mean, you're really laying it all out there for everyone to see, and every single challenge you've been offered, you've accepted them. So hats off to you for that.
Man, I just want to say for the record too, it's not like I do this in my spare time. It's not, this is as stressful and as it would be for anybody. And again, at my age. So yeah, you're right. This is kind of the ethos of London Real. Go into your fears, get comfortable being uncomfortable. So trust me, there's a lot of much better things I could be doing on a Saturday night in London, right? I'd probably be at home with my kids, but I'm gonna make that goddamn walk and I'm gonna go into that ring and whatever happens is gonna happen. And look, there's a lot of people that want to see me punch Sadiq Khan in the face. But let's be honest, there's a lot of people that want to see Brian Rose get punched in the face. And guess what? You can have both on that night. And I don't know what's going to happen. And 3 rounds is a lot. When you get to that 3rd round and you're dead tired and those hands want to come down and you want to go home and you can't, that's when you get to find out what you're all about. So my old martial arts instructor, he said, Brian, you learn a lot about yourself when you get into a fight.
Yeah.
You learn to find out what you're really about. So I'm looking to find out. And then it's going to be on such a big stage that I don't know what that's going to feel like. You know, I've attended UFC events at that same arena. I've watched Beyonce sing at that arena. I watched Dr. Jordan Peterson debate at the O2 Arena. I never thought I would be, you know, the attraction at the arena.
That's amazing. I mean, you're getting out of your comfort zone, discomfort, and then the learning zone, as you mentioned. It's important for us to always navigate these opportunities, and huge respect. Really,
Thanks,
really,
man.
really.
And this whole thing, I'm too old to do something, or I'm too this to do something. I don't have the education. I don't have the finance. Like, I don't believe that narrative. So I'm trying to put my money where my mouth is. And look, my boys, you know my boys, you know, we all hang out together and stuff. And are they old enough to understand this? No, but I'm hoping, you know, 10 years from now, they'll know that, you know, what we do in our family is we challenge ourselves. So
And it's for a good cause.
yeah, and it's for a great cause. And yeah, we're doing it to get attention to this whole thing. And I actually think combat is something that we need to embrace as individuals and humans, and even as men and young men. I think it's good for mental health too. So yeah, that's the plan, dude. There you go.
There you go.